There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play? They're here.
Welcome to the Horror God.
How's it going, horror fans? How we doing? I just had a big massive stretch there as I was doing the intro, and I'm not even sorry about it. But yeah, Steg here from the Horror Cuts, and with me as always,
These eyes will deceive you.
ooh,
I'm still Gary.
you're still Gary. Well, I'm absolutely loaded with a cold, so no feeling great, but we'll see how we get on. Oh, and also, this is the horror movie podcast for those that understand the Scottish accent.
This is the #1 horror movie podcast for those that understand the accent.
Okay. I'll get it right one day. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing better than yourself, obviously, with your cold there. But
Aye.
you know what? You're still being able to speak a lot more than Michael Myers.
Well, you just gave a big hint away to what we're actually doing today. Well, yeah.
These eyes will deceive you might have been a big hint. So what are we doing today?
So today we are doing Rob Zombie's Halloween. We're going to be doing a double episode on 1 and 2.
Rob Zombie's 1 and 2 as
Yep.
well.
Rob Zombies 1 and 2. Looking forward to it.
This was your pick.
It was my pick, yeah. I've been on a Halloween run. I watched Michael Lives, the documentary of the making of Halloween. 4 hours. Loved it.
And just to
Absolutely
clarify again, it was 4-hour documentary on Rob Zombie's Halloween, not the original, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we might you kind of know, discuss a little bit about John Carpenter's Halloween.
Absolutely.
You just can't. So we will get into it.
So what was your thoughts when you watched it the first time around and more recently?
So I've seen it when it came out back in the day, and I always remember liking it, but I think I might just have been maybe caught up in the whole comparing it to the original film, which is, I think, what puts a lot of people off, not just this film, but I think what puts a lot of people off of other remakes as well. But over the years, I've grown to like it more. This is the first time I've watched it in a long time, but maybe because we did the Rob Zombie Devil's Rejects and House of a Thousand Corpses episode and things like that, it's just kind of stuck in my mind a little bit. So watched it again and just, I think it's brilliant. Yeah, definitely a fan of it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I watched it and really enjoyed it. I loved the new Michael. I loved the new Loomis. There was little bits of the film that I really didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
And watching it this time around, those quibbles have still stayed with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll get into them as we talk about it. But this film is a lot better than what people say. Showing Michael as a child in the hospital, a lot of people said they weren't interested in that, but I actually think it's the most interesting part of the film. I think Michael is really intimidating with his size. I think he was 6'7".
Tyler Mane.
Yep.
Huge.
I think Malcolm McDowell was a great Loomis. I don't know who you'd have cast better than that after, like you said about watching this and being a fan of the original, it's already going to cause problems. I think trying to replace Donald Pleasance is a huge thing to accomplish, and I think Malcolm McDowell does it great.
Well, that everyone's sort of walls are up right away. You get you get 2 beloved characters in Michael. In fact, you get 3.
Yeah,
Laurie, Michael, and Loomis.
Yeah,
people's walls are up.
Yeah, totally. And I actually think this film deserves a lot more credit than what it gets. H2 is a different story, but we will get to that as well. We'll get to that as well. Do you want to take on the synopsis for this, since it was your choice? Or
okay, Yeah, so this is a remake of John Carpenter's Halloween. This film goes into the backstory of Michael's origin, done in a very Rob Zombie stylistic way. Michael, as we expect, escapes Smith's Grove and returns to Haddonfield on Halloween.
I think that was about 22 seconds. That was not too bad. Not too bad.
Tonight's brutal murders was described by police as Manson-like in its viciousness. 3 people brutally murdered and a 10-year-old boy being held in custody.
You haven't said a word for 15 years.
This summer, Rob Zombie unleashes a unique vision of a legendary tale.
Listen, be careful tonight. A lot of nutcases come out on Halloween.
Is the boogeyman real? Why are you so obsessed with the boogeyman, Tommy? Halloween night, the boogeyman attacks kids who don't believe.
Oh no, Tommy. Boogeyman's gonna get me.
Cool. What would you like to discuss first?
Let's talk about Laurie, Scout Taylor Compton. Tyler Compton, Scout Taylor Compton. We've got Tyler Main, Scout Taylor Compton. Her portrayal of Laurie Strode, I really like it in this film. And I actually really like it in the second film, but again, we'll get to that.
We will.
We will. And I think people's, again, it's such a loved, Laurie is like up there with, well, she probably is the final girl, really. Would we agree on that? Jamie Lee. And she is that sort of, kind of pure, innocent, virgin character. Not to say that Scout's portrayal, we don't know if she's had sex.
We don't know.
But she's got a bit of attitude and she can be a little bit vulgar. There's one particular scene when we first sort of meet her.
Is it to do with her and a bagel?
Aye. Yeah.
Yep.
To Dee Wallace.
He touched me here. He touched me here. Oh, mommy. Oh. Or something like that.
And Dee Wallace's mum, whose mum is Mrs. Strode, she's like, stop it. Yeah. But you're like, for people who grew up with the franchise or whatever, even came out later on in life, they see that character and they go, that is not Laurie. And I think that is, you knew Rob Zombie was going to do something like that.
But also, right, I like Jamie Lee Curtis. I like Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween. And I'm probably going to get a lot of criticism for this. But Laurie in John Carpenter's Halloween is quite boring. And that...
Oh, yeah.
And I don't mean that to be a criticism. I guess it kind of is. But what I mean by that is John Carpenter has made her deliberately boring. She is the kind of goody two-shoes, and it's all her friends that have kind of got the attitude and like the hanging about with the boys and that, and she's the one that's kind of wanting that. She's wanting to be that kind of, she's wanting that expressionism, I guess, that her friends have got, and that's why she wants to go out with Ben Tramer.
Ben Tramer, oh yeah, yeah.
She's wanting that Ben Tramer, like going out on dates and things, but she's not got it. Whereas this Laurie has just got a bit of personality and attitude.
Yeah.
And I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I do like her. She feels that when Michael goes after her as well, she feels that there's a good chance that she could escape him. And obviously she does a few times. Too many, to be honest, but I went to that. But she can handle herself a little bit more. And when you take Laurie Strode from the original and the original Michael, they're about the same height, but she kind of does just cry in a cupboard and screams and that. And I get times have changed that, so that's really not me shitting on the original.
No.
I think the original is a better film, but I would say this Laurie goes against the 6'7" Michael and actually does pretty well. Like, you kind of believe that she could escape him.
Yeah, totally agree with you. Yeah.
Well, we talk about the rest of the characters then as well. let's discuss a little bit then of the family dynamic first, because this was one of my quibbles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the new family, this kind of violent, abusive family. So that has changed from the original. Yes, we don't know.
Oh, you're going to Michael's family?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Michael's family, sorry.
Wallace was violent when?
No, sorry. Michael's family dynamic. So that has changed from the original. We don't get to see much of Michael's mum and dad, but when the two of them come home, I always pictured them coming home from like dinner or the theatre, and they just see young Michael outside in the mask, and they're like, both of them seem really worried. Michael? And then the camera pulls back, and you see pure worry on their face, and they kind of look a bit like middle to upper class.
Oh, totally, aye.
And I think that makes Michael more scary. Like, now there's a reason for Michael to become evil, because he grew up in this violent, abusive, homophobic family. So
yeah, he's a product of his environment.
Yes.
So it's like nature has done this to him.
Totally, whereas from the looks of things in the original, it was like this all-American white picket fence family.
Yeah.
Why did Michael turn out how he is? That's what made him scary.
Oh, totally, aye. Yeah.
And to kind of remove that...
That in the 70s alone is enough to make people sort of scared that, you know, our community that's so perfect and pristine and everyone's putting a face on, something can just come in that's there's no explanation. That is, I think, quite terrifying at that time period, and still is to this day probably as well.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Again, I don't want to compare too much, because I think
that's fine though. I think it's fine to compare them, because I don't think there's anyone that's listening to this podcast right now, maybe there is, but who has only seen...
You get fans, mate.
But what I mean is, I don't think there's anyone listening who has watched the Rob Zombie one and not watched the original.
I mean, I'm sure there is someone out there.
Probably, but I don't know if they'll be listening to us.
No. No.
Why do you think Michael has an obsession with Boo/Laurie, but not his older sister? Is it because she's hit like puberty? Like she's got this kind of... She's became sexually expressive?
And not got that towards Boo?
Well, like with Boo, he's like, "Morning, Boo." He's all cuddly with her. He takes her outside after the violence that he inflicts on Judith and Ronnie and things. Whereas, why do you think he attacks one sister but not the other?
I think she's innocent. She's not able to, because you do see after Ronnie, you know, gives Michael a bunch of shit. Judith does the exact same. She says something as well. So it's like he is, and the sexual aspect coming into it, I don't know fully, but it's maybe part of his, because he's so young and this isn't really fully happening yet. He's not really became Michael Myers that we know, but maybe it's that abuse that he can inflict in that way as well. He's maybe wrestling with a little bit. I don't know.
So it's interesting because obviously Ronnie turns around and says to, what's the mum called again? Deborah. So
was that always?
I think so. I think maybe.
She could be named after Deborah Hull.
Could be.
John Carpenter, Halloween with John Carpenter.
But yeah, talking about Judith being like sexually expressive now, obviously she has sex with her boyfriend. You've got Ronnie, who turns around to Deborah as Judith is leaving, saying, "That's one fine ass" or something. And then he says to Deborah, "What's the matter? Jealous of your own daughter's ass?" So there's obviously all this kind of sex talk in the house, and Michael is relatively young and doesn't understand that.
He's upstairs killing a rat.
Yeah, perfectly normal. But maybe that's why when it jumps 15 years later, or how many years later it is, that it gives reason for why he's stalking the babysitters who are having sex rather than looking after children, because he wasn't looked after as a child. These people are committing to looking after children, as in babysitting them. They're like passing them about, not really paying attention to them, going and getting their hole instead. And Michael's like, fuck this. So maybe that's the reason, like, because the original one was always about, you know, thematically, Halloween is like, you shouldn't have sex or you die. That was kind of putting the fear into, like,
Yeah.
horny teenagers at the time.
Do you think the whole, like, 'cause the original film was originally called The Babysitter Murders, wasn't it? And then it was changed to Halloween, and it goes down that route. But does Michael actually kill any babysitters in the first film? I don't know if he does. I think
He kills Annie.
he kills Annie,
Mm-hmm.
but she has a babysitter. But was she babysitting at that point?
But that's the point. She
leaves the house, and then kills her in the car.
Annie is supposed to be looking after Lindsay Wallace, and sends her off to Laurie to watch.
Yeah.
And that's when Annie gets killed in the first one, and it's kind of the same here. He doesn't get to kill her this time around. Obviously, she survives, which is interesting. But there is something to be said about that. You know, they are. I mean, that's how teenagers, you know, made their pocket money.
Yeah, no, totally. It's weird. Like do you think so? Zombies come into this. He's remaking this film. That sort of angle, I don't really. I never watched Rob Zombie's Halloween and really thought about the sort of babysitter aspect. And I don't think Zombies even put it into his film because I think he wanted to shy away from it. But then it's like, why doesn't he just go straight for Laurie? Which is fine, but then we wouldn't have a film.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I've got you. How you doing? I'm Michael, blah, blah, blah.
And we can go into this a bit more, but even when he does finally get Laurie, what is his plan at that point, right? And it kind of pisses me off a wee bit more than H2, so we can come back to that as well.
Yeah, but I guess we don't know, and it's never really in Halloween. In Halloween 2, obviously it's revealed that Laurie's Michael's sister, but we don't really. I don't think it's been revealed. Well, why does he want her?
No, I know, but again, we'll come to it in 2 a little bit more. But I guess I don't really mind in H1 as in Rob Zombies. When I call it H1, I'm talking about Rob Zombies. If I call it original Halloween, we're talking about John Carpenter's. In H1, I don't really mind because he still is this kind of evil presence. But my kind of other quibble with H2 is they kind of make him more human, but still then don't explain anything. But just go back to the other characters, like for this one, I think, and obviously a lot of Rob Zombie's films do this, but the characters in the first half of this are really horrible. Like,
yeah.
Ronnie is disgusting with the jealous of your older Rosette. He's also got homophobic slurs, like I think he uses faggot about 5 times. Even
bitch, I will skull fuck the shit out of you. You're going to say it William Forsythe as an actor.
He's great.
He fucking goes for it, doesn't he?
There is one line that I do love, and he's like, bitch, if you don't think I'm taking a mental note of everything you're saying, because he's a bit of an invalid. But even the other characters, like the students at the school, the bully, talking about it's either Michael's mum or sister, and he says they had to pump the cum out of her stomach. He's also got like homophobic slurs, so that when Michael actually does kill him, you want Michael to destroy him.
Which, yeah.
But the only likable character, I would say, in the first half is like Loomis. And you actually really warm to Dr. Loomis.
Oh, you totally want the Loomis.
Because even the nurse that Michael kills, like she picks up the photo of Boo and is like, cute kid, couldn't be a relation to you, and then throws it away. You know, everybody's an arsehole.
Everybody's a fucking arsehole.
But Loomis, I think you like him. As I said, great casting choice. Loomis is also given a lot more to do in this film than Donald Pleasence. He's kind, patient, and he's friendly with Michael as well, which is nice to see before the second half of the film. Like, I think it's the first meeting in the hospital as well. I think it's a really good scene where they discuss colours. Michael says to Loomis, black's his favourite colour, and Loomis is like, well, actually, black isn't a colour. It's the representation of no colour in the spectrum of colours, which is obviously
The absence of light, isn't it?
yeah, which is foreshadowing Michael. Obviously, Michael is the absence of life. He is like the abyss. And that's why I think it's funny when Loomis says, "These eyes will deceive you." Because I think by that point, 15 years later, Loomis kind of feels deceived by Michael because he spent so long trying to help him and he's just got nothing back.
Yeah.
And he says that he almost feels like Michael's a friend. I think Loomis actually feels more like a father figure to him.
Oh, totally.
And he's been totally like just got nothing back in return. So I think Loomis does actually have a love for Michael.
I think he does, yeah.
And none of that is there in original John
No.
Carpenter's Halloween.
You know, you see him there, you see him getting, like, he hugs him at one point when he sort of is that, as he's sort of descending into being more withdrawn, he does say, I want to go home. I want to go home. And he kind of goes off his nut a little bit, and Loomis kind of hugs him and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you don't, I mean, we need to remember as well, the original Halloween film was never made to be anything else other than just one film. It was just, this is my idea of the film. I don't want to, there's nothing to explain because I don't have any explanations because I've just made a film. That's it.
No brother-sister dynamic as well.
Nothing. It's just like, there's a film, scared the shit out of everybody, move on to the next thing. But it's obviously, it's became obviously a cultural phenomenon and people want answers, and whether or not you get them or not is completely, up for debate.
One thing that isn't answered on that note is, it's never answered, but how Michael knows Laurie is his sister. The easiest way to do that would be to do a remake where Laurie's maybe a bit older.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not old enough to remember the trauma, but she looks not like a baby. Give her ginger hair. Like there's ways to make Michael realise it's her.
Yeah.
Could be a birthmark.
Could be something, yeah.
A birthmark would be actually...
Yeah, because he goes to Haddonfield straight away and he obviously seems to find her pretty quickly. But again, that could be the sort of mystery element where it's like, well, why do we need to explain this? Because we kind of already know. And we should say as well, like, people talk about the first half of this film, how it's so different from the second half. The second half of the film becomes more of a Halloween film.
Yep.
And that's probably where it doesn't fall off a cliff, but it falls back into the familiar things that we've seen before. And from watching the interviews with Rob Zombie and watching the documentary, he is bombasted by the studio every day to say, you have to hit this note, you have to hit this note. And he's like, I don't want to. It's not my film. This isn't the film I want to make. If you want a Halloween film, go and watch Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making this film on my own. So all of those things that are put in are the notes that the studios, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do it. And he's like, fuck it, I don't want that. So it's like, that to me kind of says something where, it's so funny because he imitates Bob Weinstein and all that, and like shouting at him on the phone when he gets to Daly's that this film's a piece of shit, it's a fucking this and that, and Zombie just kept going. And then once it made the money, he's like, this film's a fucking masterpiece. He's like, excuse me?
Yeah.
So that I think it's a film of two halves. I do prefer the first half. I think it's better.
I like both. I do like both. Second half goes on slightly too long.
Slightly too long.
But what I would say is, not giving credit to Harvey Weinstein in that, but sometimes, like, a lot of directors shit on producers and the money people because they get in the way of their vision.
Yeah.
But for H2, he's given full autonomy to do what he wants, and a lot of people weren't happy. So sometimes,
he's given full autonomy to do what he wants in H2, but at the same time, he signed a 3-picture deal with them. After the first film, the stress he was under making it, and afterwards, he decided, I'm not fucking doing this. So he went back and said, I'm not doing it, get somebody else to do it. So you get a 3-picture deal. They had 2 other directors on board to replace him, and then eventually it didn't work out. So they went back to him.
French directors that did Inside or something like that. They did a film.
Oh, the guy inside. Pascal was.
I can't remember.
And then he went back and says, I will make this film if I don't have to make a third, if I can get out of my contract to make another film with you guys. And they went, okay. So I think Halloween 2 is definitely more of a full-out Rob Zombie film, but he's making it with a lot of resentment and a lot of fuck you, everybody else as well. So there's that note Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think Halloween's the first film is really, really good. I do enjoy watching it. I like how he doesn't do things that you see in slasher films. Rob Zombie's not there for creative kills. He's just not. He's like, every time you make a sequel, the kills get bigger. We went and saw Scream 7 the other night. You had someone fucking hanging from a wire, swinging back and forth for about a minute whilst the killer hacks away. And then eventually the big one right down the middle and all our guts pour out. To me, that's not scary. It's fucking balls, actually. Zombie is nothing. He's like, I want on set, brutality, direct, fucking kill them. I'm going to film it in a way that is disturbing. And I think this film is made to disturb you, not scare you.
Yeah, yeah. But I think it can be scary, like just but using his size and intimidation and not getting away. What Rob Zombie does with Halloween H1 is the same kind of thing that I give credit to the Jessica Biel Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same. It's like not being able to escape this huge presence. Obviously, Texas has got other people in on it, which makes it scary. But the deaths in the 2000 and there's Jessica Biel one, I can't remember, early 2000s.
2003, maybe.
Like, there's not really any creative kills in that either.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's kind of the same idea, and that film freaks me the fuck out.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's got the same vibe. It's the same vibe as sort of Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah.
And in the documentary,
who Rob Zombie's a big fan of.
Yeah, of course, And in the documentary, he does say the Michael Lives documentary. He's like, I felt like, did I copy this quote from him, or have I seen this guy say this before, and that's why I use it? He says, who came up with the rule about there's got to be humour in horror to balance it? He says, no, it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Is The Exorcist funny? At any point in The Exorcist, are you laughing? He's like, where the fuck did that come from? I don't want to make a film like that. And I was literally sitting there going, I need to phone Gary.
Yeah.
I've been saying this for ages. I don't know if I got it off of him.
Right, yeah.
Or if he's just said it and...
Maybe he's connected,
maybe
like Michael and
maybe
Laurie
we're connected like Michael and fucking Laurie.
What
spoke about?
Sorry.
On your own, I was going to say, what about chat about Annie, or like obviously Daniel Harris?
Yeah, that was my next note. Is what do you think about bringing Daniel Harris back?
I think it was a pretty good move. She works really well with Laurie in this. I think the relationship, you can see it's there. There's a lot of love for each other, bounce off each other really well, and it must have been so strange for her to come back and do this, do that film and being like, I'm in a Halloween set and I'm playing a different character. What? Well, obviously, for the listeners who don't know, she played Jamie Lloyd, Laurie Strode's daughter, in Halloween 4, 5. Jamie Lloyd was played by another actress in part 6, which is a whole other film we can chat about as well down the line. But anyway, so yeah.
Yeah, I would also say I heard that Rob Zombie didn't want to cast Daniel Harris in this, and when Daniel Harris's agent reached out, supposedly he wasn't interested in doing that, but they kept pushing just to at least let her audition, and it was actually her audition that got her the role, not because she was already in 4 and 5.
That's cool.
And I think that is like, she was the best person for the job.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what auditions should be, right? Not how many followers have you got on Instagram, or how big's your TikTok, or you know, you've got a singing career, so let's just cast you in this.
Yeah.
Like Busta Rhymes.
Aye. She's in Redwood Massacre too. David's film.
Yeah, I've not seen it
for that. Yeah. So I did when it was getting made.
Daniel Harris also supposedly said that she kind of wanted to get her boobs out because she was still looked at as a child actor. So this is kind of the film that helped her move into, I'm now an adult in horror films.
Yeah.
Which is quite cool as well.
It's really cool.
You shouldn't need to get your boobs out to be recognised as an adult in horror, but I certainly would stop seeing you as a child.
Yeah, you certainly would. Yeah, you would. Yeah, even the thought of that, like this actor, who, beloved character in this franchise, to see her playing a different character, but then playing a character that is getting her tits out,
is weird.
Is strange. In the Michael Love's documentary, across from the school where they were shooting was the original Strode house.
Right.
And you hear them kind of like setting up for the shop, and somebody's like, I can't remember if it was Rob Zombie that said that someone else was like, we should maybe get a wee sort of, shot in the background, a wee Easter egg of that. So it's like, me and Rob Zombie went, why would I want to do that? So as soon as you start doing that, you lose all respect for your film. It's because it's not your film.
Yeah.
He's like, forget that. He's like, this is my film. And you're like, I've got to respect it big time.
Yeah.
To hold that back and not do the sort of
Easter eggs.
Everybody fucking knows that there is no film. He's like, no one's going to forget that.
And maybe that goes into why you didn't want to cast Daniel Harris. Because it would feel like a nod, which everybody thought it was.
And his idea, because, so we kind of went for Annie, and I think things like that, but the cast that he fills the film with are so memorable, and they've got their own, they carry his vision out, which I'd love to talk about some of the characters.
Well, let's talk about, because we spoke about Malcolm McDowell, great choice. Another great choice is Brad Dourif, who, for those that don't know how you would know, is the voice of Chucky. He was also in
Rumtung and Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Brad Dourif is great as Sheriff Brackett. Again, I think it's a great casting choice because there's still that warmth from the original Sheriff Brackett. You still feel that warmth, but he's a great horror icon, and I think he really just nails the character, but also just nails how the character is feeling when he sees his daughter lying on the floorboards.
Man,
yeah. I think he's great, and he gets more to do in the second one.
Yeah, I think he's great in this film. Him, and I was really interested in seeing him in set with Loomis and how they were chatting and stuff like that, because two fantastic actors. I think he is brilliant in this one. He does get more to do in H2, which, and again, if we spoke about the director's cut compared to the theatrical, which I've watched.
Is this H1 or H2 you're talking about?
Actually, both.
Okay.
And he does seem to get more screen time, and I think both. Because you watched the theatrical version of the Halloween one, didn't you? Zombies.
I mean, we can speak about it a little just now, but I have no idea which version I watched, right? So I had Rob Zombie's Halloween on DVD for years.
Uh-huh.
I went to put it on for this podcast, couldn't find it. I watched this weird version of it. It was legally streamed, right? It wasn't a dodgy copy.
Bullshit.
No, it genuinely was. That's why. So I downloaded like 40 apps on my Fire Stick of all these like random free movie apps, and I found it and I put it on. And I always remember a line near the start of Halloween where Deborah Myers offers Judith eggs, and she doesn't want any eggs. And the mum's like, why not? And she's like, since there were chicken abortions. Always remember it, right? So I was writing a note for the podcast, and I looked up because that dialogue didn't happen. I was like, maybe I heard that in something else. So I started doubting that maybe it was a different film.
Yep.
Until, in this version that I watched, maybe our US listeners can let us know if it's maybe more of a US version in UK, but Michael breaks out differently. So in the version I had on DVD, Danny Trejo's character is shown a new star who is one of the actors from The Devil's Rejects.
Mosley?
No, it's not Mosley. Anyway, he's shown like one of the new stars how to like deal with Michael.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, right. Got you. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's showing him how to deal with Michael, and the guy's like, "What? You're friends with this big fucker?" and all that. And he's like, "You care for him?" And he's like, "Look, I retire in about 3 months. Just do as you're told, right?" Then it goes to nighttime, and the new star and this other guy are walking the corridors, and they decide to rape a mental patient. And this scene always bothered me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't do rape scenes at all. But they think it's funny to drag the patient into Michael's room and rape her in front of Michael. Michael loses his shit, kills them, and breaks out. And then it cuts to Danny Trejo finding the dead bodies, and then Michael appearing by them. And then the rest of the film runs relatively similar. But in this version, right, there's like 4 or 5 security guards. They're just playing cards. I'm like, this is a new scene. I have never seen this before in my life. They're playing cards. They get a phone call, oh, we need to transfer someone, or who the hell are we transferring tonight? Oh, it's Michael Myers. It's Halloween night, of course, it's Michael Myers. One of them says, I'm kidding on, don't say that.
No.
And then Michael's in chains, and the 4 or 5 of them are walking Michael down the corridor, and then suddenly he just snaps out of the chains like he's the Terminator and basically rips him from limb to limb. One of them goes to shoot Michael. He pulls a security guard in front of them and uses him as like a human shield.
Yeah.
Then we see the aftermath, and Danny Trejo sees aftermath. So literally in one version, Michael's not getting transferred at all, which is quite new, but there's a rape scene in there instead.
Yeah. Did he save the girl?
And the one with the security guards?
Did he save the girl who was getting raped?
Yeah,
Does she
and
live?
I think she does.
That's interesting, because the version I think I watched didn't have that scene, the
security guards.
security guards, but it did have the chicken abortion line.
So there must be like 4 different versions of this film.
Yeah, I think there might be, because I guess because am I right? Because obviously he breaks the chains, leaves, but then he goes back to his room to sit down. Danny Trejo comes in, sees him sitting there painting.
Nope, that wasn't there.
So how does he get a hold of Trejo then?
So do you remember in...
I was good to you, Mikey. I was good to you, Mikey.
All that's in there. So basically, in both versions that I've seen, Trejo was like just walking the corridors and there's a phone ringing at reception, and Trejo shouts like Nancy or whatever, who's obviously, I'm guessing, the receptionist, and then he doesn't see it, but under the desk, like the receptionist like bleeding out and she can't speak, and then he walks a wee bit further, then he sees just the mess of bodies and he's like, oh shit, and then he turns round and Michael's standing behind him, and then he tries to put the chains on Michael really carefully, and Michael holds Michael holds up his hands and then suddenly grabs him, and then you get the "that was good to you, Mikey." It's funny because he gets his head dunked in the water and then comes back up and he says it again. It's as if Danny Trejo isn't caring that he's getting killed. He just can't believe that he spent all this time being good to him and Michael's doing this to him.
And I think that is where the emotion comes in. That's the audience's sort of crutch, is like, shit, he was good to him.
Yeah.
And as he's getting killed, he is saying that. And I think that's something with Rob Zombie's films, is the use of dialogue when someone's getting killed, whether it's an owl or a, like what you're saying there about Danny Trejo. There's something with that human that isn't just the standard screaming and then it's like they make the noises and then they die.
Yeah,
Zombie does say that's not how people actually die. If someone gets stabbed, they fucking say things that are,
oh fuck.
Just like, it's like, yeah, or something that is quite, when they're getting repeatedly stabbed, they're going to maybe say things that are out of fear. And I think that's one of the things that I like about Zombies Kills. And that Danny Trejo scene is quite, you just feel sad for him, because he did care for him.
It's also nice to see Danny Trejo playing like a calm, clever character as well, rather than like a psycho. Yeah, because there's that scene, I think it's Michael's, it's young Michael in his cell the first night, and Danny Trejo says, get inside your own head, no walls can get you there.
I don't let them get you down, Mikey, or something. You need to look out beyond the walls in your own head.
To me, his character in this is kind of like a lion tamer. He knows how dangerous the job is, but as long as he treats the lion with respect, it'll kind of not attack him. And I think that's why 15 years later, when the lion attacks, he's like, I was good too, Mikey. He's so shocked and upset.
Yep, and then that's Michael out in the big bad world. I mean, he's some size. Like, I mean, what the hell are they feeding that kid? Like, this guy's getting huge. Maybe we should lay off the
steaks.
The steaks.
I'm gonna cut that mask right off your face.
He's come back for his baby sister. To do what?
Aye, sorry, listeners, we had to go for a pee. Both of us, not in the same bathroom or anything, but we did have to urinate, so we will pick off where we left off, which was Michael escapes. Enter Ken fucking Forey.
Yeah.
It's Big Joe Grizzly. And I met at Sheffield maybe 10 years ago. a signing, and I got a signed photo of Big Joe Grizzly, and he autographed it to Steg last night's booty call. And by the way, he is fucking giant. His hands are like the size of that, but they were just huge. He's like, and he shook my hand. He's like, "Look at your hands." I'm like, "Dude, you've got fucking massive hands." Big Joe Grizzly at a truck stop, and again, some of the dialogue that he delivers is just fucking grotesque, isn't it?
I've got a burrito deluxe talking back at me, so I'm gonna be a while. Let me pass this beast in peace.
So why don't you let me pass this beast in peace?
What do you think of his demise as well? It's quite a violent one.
Man, it's violent. And again, in the documentary, they show that being filmed. They were supposed to switch out the stall door for a fake one. Didn't do it. They just went for it. So that is actually a real stall getting dismantled by the two of them. Because the two of them are giant.
Yeah.
Tyler Main talks about it after it. He's like, he's a big dude. So I had to really, really up my game. And it is ferocious.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Well, let's talk about some of the violence in this one, because it's a lot more violent than, I would say, Halloween 1 to 6. The original ones.
Yeah.
Halloween H2O, the violence is actually withdrawn a lot more.
Yeah.
Resurrection, we just don't talk about in general.
Piece of shit.
But I think there's a few interesting things with the violence in this film. When it's revealed that Michael is killing animals, Ronnie calls him a cat killer and is like throwing sweets or something at him. And he thinks it's funny. He makes no effort to help him. Michael's mum just goes to work and lets him go trick-or-treating. So nobody seems, again, to be caring that this boy's got like a violent tendency, I guess, as well. And obviously from watching so much true crime or reading up on it, like, we know killing animals is the first sign that someone's going to be violent when they're older, possibly a killer. So it's interesting it's taking inspiration for real life for, I guess, what's to become of Michael Myers as well. And then when he kills the bully, technically that's Michael's first kill, whereas if you take the original one, it's his sister.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to think that even with the original, that there could have been a few deaths before his sister that you just never actually see. There's also something interesting when he's decided he's going to kill the bully. This is going back to young Michael, sorry. He stands and watches him from a distance, watching him walk home, which is great foreshadowing. Yeah, great shot as well, but great foreshadowing of what's to come when Michael breaks out and he's like watching them from like the hedge and things like that. Iconic shots, but it's like maybe this isn't the first time he did it. Maybe he's actually practicing what he did when he was younger.
Yeah. Yeah, and when you were just explaining that there, you asked me that question earlier on about the sexual sort of stuff, the sexual violence. That bully does show it in his face. He gives him the sort of a picture of his mum, which is an ad from the strippers that she works in. And again, there's maybe that link to Deborah Myers is doing this to make money for her family. Because she does, from what I can see, love her family. But she's a single mum, poverty stricken, her husband doesn't work, he's a piece of shit, he's an alcoholic.
Is he the husband?
Oh, the partner, sorry.
But no, it's interesting, it's never actually said. I like to think that he was at the strippers and somehow moved into your life. He's a series of these guys. These guys have been here before, and maybe Michael's seen these, and it's that link with the sexuality stuff. And then the little boy, the bully, literally throwing that shit in his face and being like, "My dad said that if I gave your mum a butt, she would show him her tits." Yeah. Ronnie's death is one of the ones that we see kind of close up, where he tapes Ronnie to the chair and then slices his throat. Good use of like practical effects there as well. I think it's always like stuck with me. I remember when I was trying to make my first films, I really watched that scene because I was trying to do a slasher film and I was trying to look at where's his neck, where's the makeup, and I like it because when he slits the throat, there's like a few beats before the blood starts pouring out. And it's interesting that Ronnie's so drunk that he doesn't even feel getting taped up.
And he's wearing that he's wearing the clown mask
At this point, yeah.
as well, which obviously is continuing on from Michael and John Carpenter's, where he kills Judith wearing that mask. And it does go into the film throughout Michael's stay in the hospital, where he starts to withdraw more. He starts to wear masks to cover his face. I think he says to his mum it's to hide his ugliness, and Deborah says, what do you mean? I want to see your face, you're not ugly. And I love that shot when young Michael kills the nurse. Loomis and Deborah are in the lift.
Yeah.
And the alarm goes off. Loomis, what's going on, runs back in, sees what's happened, and I love the sort of slow motion scream of Deborah, played by Sherry Moon Zombie. I love when she's just like, she realises what she saw, because she never saw the first kill. She knows that Michael's killed the family, and it's very abundantly clear, but she never saw that.
Mm-hmm.
She saw the aftermath when Judith and Ronnie are getting taken out in the ambulance. And I just love the way she just crumples to the ground and just screams. And
Sound design.
Sound design.
I mean, it might be different for each cut, but you actually don't hear her scream.
Yeah,
it's just the alarm you hear.
Yeah.
Like wailing.
Yeah.
And it's her screaming. It's like Michael's face, like almost like roaring at her. Like,
she tries to take off his mask, doesn't she?
Yeah.
I love that shot of Dag as well, the wee boy, that when that mask comes off, he just screams and looks. You're like, fuck, this guy's a fucking monster.
Totally.
It's kind of jarring as well. He actually, because there's a scene where I think it's when we first get introduced to Michael in the hospital with Loomis, and Loomis is like, "Can you just state your name to the mic?" And he's like, "I'm Michael Myers." And it's like, oh, this is weird. Hear
so
this
cute.
guy say this, like this little kid say his name. So weird.
It's almost like he's got a lump stuck in his throat. He's like, "I'm Michael Myers." Yeah. See, when Ronnie is killed as well, I love how the boyfriend is oblivious. Judith's boyfriend, and he's just making himself a sandwich.
He's making himself a sandwich, He's just had some sex, and he's like...
He's now hungry.
Yeah.
And there's this body sitting there, and he's no idea. And then, obviously, Michael comes in with the metal baseball bat, and just when he hits him, then hits him again, and then his body crumples to the ground, and I just love it. There's a twitch in the body. The brain's still trying to work, and it's just not, and that always got me as well.
Yeah, it does. It's quite...
It's freaky.
It's very, very freaky, isn't it?
Michael does... I've never really been able to take it seriously, but maybe there's something, because it's odd, it is kind of terrifying. But when young Michael is in his little clown suit with a big Michael Myers mask and he's chasing after Judith down the corridor, it just looks hilarious though. Like,
weird, isn't it?
It's so weird because it's almost like, because we're used to seeing the Michael Myers mask on an adult male, it's weird to see it on this kind of like little person. It looks like that makes Michael look like a little person. It's just bizarre to see. See, when Michael kills Danny Trejo after drowning him, he kills him by hitting him over the head with a TV. Do you think that is a homage to Scream and Stu Macher?
No.
Or it was just like, Danny Trejo, welcome to prime time, bitch. One kill.
I'm going to say I could go without it. I think the drowning would have been fine.
Yeah,
I could have went without it.
To be fair, maybe Danny Trejo survived. We don't know.
That's the thing, you want him to survive as well.
Yeah.
You really want him to survive.
Because when he hits him with the TV, it cuts to black.
Yeah.
You don't actually see like an aftermath or him shaking.
Yeah.
Let's do Macher.
Yeah.
We've
all spoken about Loomis's hairdo in this film.
What's wrong with it? I don't know. It says a bit.
No, he's got the...
Oh, at the start.
Because that scene when he's talking to Michael and he's like, he's like, I don't have any friends. He says, "You're my friend, Michael." And he does this, his hair. Like this, I'm running my hands through my hair now. He does this, and you're like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah, young Loomis has kind of got like a boy band kind of streaky hair going on, doesn't he?
Streaky hair going on, aye. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you meant he's kind of grey here.
When he's later on. Yeah.
Can we talk about one of the most iconic scenes in the original Halloween, and they do it again in this one? I call it Bedsheet Ghost Michael.
Yep.
So people now criticise the original one, going, why did they put a sheet in his head? Why? Cause, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, but
he's stealthy. Michael's always been stealthy.
Yes.
The originals.
Don't think that's quite stealthy. I mean, she does think it's the boyfriend, doesn't she? But it's played better this time, I would say. So it's a nice misdirect where the boyfriend, Linda's boyfriend, is going for some beers. He goes out to the van, gets some beers. I think we cut away to Laurie, then when we cut back, it's just a figure walking down the corridor with the sheet on, and we automatically think it's Linda's boyfriend. And then out of nowhere, Michael just crashes against the wall with him, chokes him out. Then we get the iconic stab against the wall, and then we see Michael putting the bed sheet on and going in. So the fact that we see Linda's boyfriend doing it first, that makes sense that Michael copies that.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of works a lot better.
Yeah. Never thought of that, but actually, yeah.
So I think, yeah. On that note, that's probably my favourite kill or horror movie part of this one. What would yours be?
I do like Joey Grizzly's death. I like seeing his feet at the door. Dirty. And there's like slippers.
Yeah.
Huge, bulky, and you're like, fucking hell.
It's funny because you see Michael's feet at the bottom, but also you see his mask over the cubicle door because he's so tall. So he's literally just taking up the full space.
Aye, and it's funny watching Michael Lives, the guy who, I think there was 2 cameras on it, that scene, and I think the second operator had the camera over the stall at the side. He was like, he just went with that. He was like, he didn't plan it. He was like, I decided just to, because they're so big, go over and you can see them as well. And he's like, after it, he's like, I got that shot, look, and that's what they've used by it. They've used a bit of it. They're 2 Hulks. They're 2 giants.
Yeah,
I think that is a good. I think it really does show how big Michael is, but how powerful he is as well, up against a guy who's probably maybe equal his size, and he just destroys him.
Totally, and that just shows the power. And maybe that's why they removed the scene with the chains, because then you already know his power, and it is a bit kind of
supernatural. It makes you think supernatural, doesn't it?
Like, it makes you think like the Hulk, whereas like brute strength is a bit different when it's like in a fight.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one of my biggest kind of problems with this film going into H2. Loomis gets his eyes gouged out.
Yep.
And then we just forget about that in the next one.
Forget about that in the next one, yeah.
It really kind of... Even he's wearing sunglasses for all of it, just make him blind. It's so weird that it's just not there.
Nah, it's very strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's that, and I don't know if this is a gripe or a question, but I think about this the other night. And again, I don't know whether to chat about it in H2, but when we do the H2 episode, I'll chat about it in this. Brad Dourif, Sheriff Brackett, is reading Loomis's book in the first film.
Yep.
At this point, though, am I right in saying that Loomis doesn't know that Laurie is Boo?
Yeah, at this moment.
What is Brackett's reaction? Because he's kind of sitting there, he's like, son of a bitch. As if, what is he reacting to? Reading Loomis's book on Michael?
Maybe it's just the fact that he's writing a book on it, profiteering. But
so you think Loomis suspects that this is Laurie?
I think
this is Boo.
I think maybe if Brackett's kind of reacting to anything, it's just the thought of this guy who's profiteering off of a town's misery.
Maybe he's profiteering. Maybe that's what he's reacting to.
Off of a child murderer, you know, because there's a great line in this, and it's the graveyard worker played by
Sid Haig.
Sid Haig, and Sid Haig says, I remember some doctor wrote a book on it, fucking blood money. And then Loomis says, I read that book. It was a masterpiece.
That's right.
I love that line. Because me personally, as a writer, not that I would like to profiteer off of blood money, I guess, but if someone started slagging something I had wrote and not knowing that I had wrote it, I think I'd be like, oh, actually, no, I thought that was quite good.
That was quite good.
Right? And just,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I kind of relate to Loomis at that point. But I read that book. Yeah, it's a masterpiece.
Aye, he's so cocky, isn't he? I love that he's got cocky in this film. You've seen a different Loomis from obviously the one that's sort of beloved.
And I love this scene when he goes to buy the gun. And the guy's going through all the different handguns, and he's like, if you really want to blow his fucking head off, and Loomis is like, just bag it. I'm in a bit of a rush here.
On Sid Haig, it was like a last minute thing. He was on my phone and went, do I win this? He went, aye, where are you? He went, I'll drive. And he just went and shot it. Wild, man.
Good to be a little small part as well.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit then about the kind of ending then. So, you've got Lindsay, Tommy and Laurie in the bathroom after they've witnessed Annie get chopped up, I guess. And the police come to the door. Michael kills them, goes into the bathroom, and everybody's screaming and shouting. He grabs Laurie and starts pulling her out. She's still screaming. We then cut to outside the house, and she's just out cold. And he just carries her down the street.
Yeah. And
I think it's just a weird cut, and I was wondering if there's a scene missing where she goes from screaming to her getting like knocked out, or... And this is the thing where the film goes a bit meh for me, because he takes her to the Myers house, she escapes, and at this point there's 20 minutes left. She escapes, falls in the pool, Michael goes into the pool, Loomis saves her, shoots Michael, they go to the police car. How they've got a police car, I don't know. Then Michael grabs her out of the police car, back into the Myers house, through the Myers house where she's in the attic, and he's hitting it with a cricket bat. Who knew Myers were into cricket? Why not a baseball bat? We already seen the baseball bat earlier. They're just big cricket fans. And then she falls through the roof because he's destroying the ceiling. And then she stands up, she's all bloodied and bruised. And then, this is really cool, Michael just runs at her and knocks her over the balcony. And it's really cool because we've never seen Michael or Jason run. We've seen Ghostface, we've seen Freddy, but usually it's this big kind of stalker, slow walk. And it's just interesting. Right at the end, it's like, no, our Michael runs. And then we've got that last shot where she's clicking the gun, it fires, and she gets covered in Michael's blood. It's a very Texas Chainsaw cathartic ending, actually. I really like the very last shot of her, just her screaming and covered in blood. But it's just 20 minutes too long.
Totally.
That's where the original one gets it right.
Yeah, I agree. Yep. There's like the bits where she's going through the ceiling, all that, he's like poking up at her, all those kind of things that are almost like a typical horror film that you can just be like, I'm not interested in this.
So maybe what they should have done is given that scene kind of more to Annie or Linda or one of their boyfriends.
Yeah.
You could have had more of a chase scene through a house. Well, like, we could have done it with Linda because they're already in Michael's house and had that scene sooner.
Yeah. It's funny because I says to you when I found out about this, whereas in the original script, when Michael first sees Laurie, he says to her, boo, which she wouldn't take as, oh, that's me, that's what you called me when I was a kid. But you're thinking, boo, it's Halloween. Shit. And I was like, that's fucking brilliant. I'd have loved to have seen that.
Well, hold that thought then for the second episode, because he does whisper one word in H2.
Ends with a D and ends with an E.
Yes. And so I want to talk about that. So we can maybe talk about the two then together there as well.
Anyone else we've missed in the film? I mean, what about Sherry Moon in this? Obviously, she gets a lot of shit with fans and stuff like that. How do you think she did playing Deborah Myers?
This is her best performance, I would say, out of Devil's Rejects and House, or 1,000 Corpses, not House. And this is the first thing I think I remember really seeing her in when I enjoyed her performance.
Yeah,
Don't think there's.
stripped back, and she's pretty solid. She's pretty good.
And this is the thing is like in Devils, she's playing this kind of rebellious murderer. In this though, she's playing a living mum who's dealing with a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Maybe again, maybe Rob Zombie should cast her in more things that aren't just like the evil bastard psycho, because
Yeah.
this is a bit more loving, a bit more tender. Like that scene where she commits suicide
Oh,
and she's just
God.
crying, watching a projector screen. It's great
It's
acting.
great acting. Aye. And I love the choice to just end that shot, that scene on the projector, and then you hear the bang, and you hear the scream for the baby.
And the baby that plays Boo is great because we open up in Michael's house hearing that kid scream, and then and it's such an iconic kind of baby cry. It sounds like no other kind of baby crying I've heard in other films, but that opening the film with that and then ending with Deborah's suicide and hearing the baby crying the exact same scream kind of bookends the opening of part one and the end of part one, and then it's part two is 15 years later.
Yeah.
And it's about that baby, really, because that baby then becomes Laurie.
Yeah, that's a great scene as well. Good, but yeah, bookends up.
Young Michael's biggest tantrum in the hospital, I would personally say, is when Deborah, the mum, visits at Christmas. And I think that's because Michael loves Halloween and Christmas comes too soon after it.
Oh, brilliant.
Also, like the small nods. I know you were saying Rob Zombie doesn't really do Easter eggs and stuff, but there's some nods there, like the Linda saying "totally," because it's so annoying in the original Halloween when she's always like,
That's PJ Souls, isn't it?
"Yeah, totally not here."
Again, do you think that was a Rob Zombie choice? Do you think that was a studio choice?
Oh, I think that's him, man. Because it's not as much. There's like one or two totallys, and you're just like, yeah. So it must have maybe stood out in his head. So he's like, I'll put in one or two. Because like Annie's totally different.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Laurie. What you doing? Just get stuck in the window or the dryer or whatever it is.
So it's so mad about these two, Carpenter and Zombie. You heard about this sort of arguments between them both.
Yeah, so supposedly Rob Zombie asked John Carpenter for permission. He went, go make your film. And John Carpenter's like, that never really happened.
Yeah, and then I think John Carpenter says that he lied about something. He says that Zombie said, I said this. And he's like, I didn't say this.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know why that arsehole, he said, I don't know why that arsehole made up these lies about me, piece of shit.
I know.
Do you think Rob Zombie's Halloween is better than any of the last three that we've seen? Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends?
Yeah. I would say the Halloween, was it 2019?
The first one that starts at David Gordon.
The first one of the trilogy, yeah. I think it's pretty solid. Somebody asked me to pick one to watch right now. I don't know what I'd pick between that and this. I think they're kind of on par. I think this is better than Halloween Kills, which was the second in the trilogy.
Yeah.
But I do have a soft spot for Halloween Kills. I think it is inspired by other events.
Yeah.
Halloween Ends was not great at all.
Fair play to the guy for trying something different.
But then I think they should have went right out with it and went, we're going to have two killers, Michael and this young lad going out doing it together. I think, but they didn't do that. And I think people would have been absolutely fine with that, because then if you want to take it in another direction, you have, but just having Michael sit in a sewer for 80% of the film is not what audiences want to see.
I tried to rewatch Halloween Ends recently. I should maybe leave this for the next episode, but I think when I watched the three films, I was just kind of like, some of the acting was naff, even from Jamie Lee, who's a well experienced actor. Some of her deliveries, some of her dialogue, I was like, what's going on here? Like, it's just so shit.
The film felt rushed.
And Kills was, it was almost like an action. They're looking for that, that frame where the, zooms in and they say something like, quite what's the cold blue steel?
Oh, right, like a blue steel stare.
Kind of that, and then they deliver the line, "Evil dies tonight." And I'm
Yeah.
like, there's fucking none of that shit in this film, and that's
Yeah,
what
I
I
know.
kind of like about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. There's no trailer dialogue. Is maybe what you're saying.
Aye, trailer dialogue is a good way. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I do like about zombies films.
What do you think of the mask in this one? Because it's already kind of faded, like from,
Yeah,
early on.
where does he gets it? Pulls it out the floorboard.
So the boyfriend brings it. Judith's boyfriend brings it.
That's right.
And then he pulls it out the floorboards 15 years later.
Yeah.
I like
It's
it.
cool.
Bit more
Works.
scary in it. Yeah, totally.
It's weird, and I think it's really cool. We spoke about it earlier on when Dave wears it as young Michael, and he's walking down, and it's just to showcase how big this motherfucker's going to be when he grows up.
True, yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? And when you see that, the size of Michael, it's a different kind of fear you're kind of getting from him. Yeah, that's a pretty cool mask. I like it.
I just like how it's all kind of faded and scratched and kind of weathered looking already. Yeah.
Which is everything in a Rob Zombie film.
Mm.
Looks like shit. I want this thing to look like shit.
Okay. I've got one more thing to say on
Okay.
Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest question I've got for the full film.
Okay.
What is Udo Kier doing in this film for one scene?
So random, innit? Was it he phones Michael's escaped? That's it?
Yeah.
What do you mean Michael's escaped?
Yeah. Where did you get on the phone and tell him where they're going? Where is he going? Haddonfield. There must have been so much else filmed that's just cut.
Oh, I can believe that.
There has to be, but so random. Like, how many films are we going to do a podcast on and Udo's going to show up in? That's Blade, End of Days, Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so random.
Yeah.
Good scene, though.
Yeah,
a good scene.
Yeah, it's a good scene, huh?
Okay. What would you rate Halloween out of 5?
I'm going to go with a 4.
I've got a 4. I've got a 4 here. 4 out of 5 bagels. Steg, what is your creative recommendation?
Oh, I have to add this on a. So my creative recommendation will be Michael Lives, 4-hour documentary that's on the unrated DVD. It's also online on Daily Motion. 4 hours of the making of the film, right from the initial stages. Goes through casting. I love the storyboards aspect. There's loads of cool storyboards that you saw. That a lot came from Rob Zombie. 4 hours of watching it, and it's a fantastic documentary film. If you're interested in filmmaking, absolutely loved it. Yeah, so that I would recommend that. One thing that stuck with me was the DOP on it said that he's actually surprised at how much Rob Zombie notices on set in terms of the set. Again, that's coming because he's an artist.
Mm-hmm.
He paints, he does all this stuff, and it's like I kind of see, but he's like, I'm surprised at how much he picks up on because he's such a new director.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just looked like an absolute blast watching it. Highly recommend watching it. 4 hours of your life well spent.
Well, it's funny you saying that because mine is also a documentary.
Ooh.
Not 4 hours though, but we caught it at Fright Fest.
Oh yeah,
Boorman and the Devil.
Boorman and the Devil, yeah.
And it is basically a 90-minute documentary on The Exorcist 2 and how that film came to be the masterpiece that it is. But honestly, it will open your eyes to The Exorcist 2. I very much said to Steg when I was watching The Exorcist 2 that to me it's a good film. It's just not a good horror film. It feels more like some sort of quest film. It's also quite cozy. There's a lot of hypnosis and things in it. And I think it was marketed wrong. The director comes out and says that, he wasn't making a film for the audience that the studio was making a film for. I don't want to say too much, but he also says it shouldn't have had The Exorcist in the title. But also, as an artist, watching this poor man speak about the trauma making this film,
yeah, man.
There was tears in the audience. Let's put it that way. So that would be Boorman and the Devil.
great documentary. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So that brings us to the end of part 1 of our double bill on Rob Zombie's Halloween. Join us next time for H2 Halloween 2 by Rob Zombie. If you like what you're hearing, then you can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at The Horror Cut Show, or you can join The Horror Cut Show on Facebook and jump in on the discussion and comments on the films that we are reviewing. See you next time. Cheers.
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare, huh?
We're friends to the end, remember?
This is the end, friend.